Today I'm going to show you how to paint a fun feather just using our watercolours. Now this is a beginner's watercolour project. So if you're completely new to watercolours, give this one a try. And if you're not new to watercolours, well, try it anyway. So let's get the brushes wet and let's get started. Right, let's make a start. Push that away a minute. And we'll grab ourselves a mechanical pencil. This is a 2H pencil. And by the way, the paper is one by Paul Rubin. It's just shiny surface paper. It's got a bit of a glitter on it. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. It's actually quite nice. It's not something I would normally use, but it's ideal for like a fun project like this. First thing you want to do is draw the central part of the feather, which is a shaft. So I'm going to probably start around there. And very lightly, giving it a bit of a wiggle. I'm going to go down to about there. I don't know, something like that. Doesn't really matter. They all vary, don't they? It's going to start off quite narrow and then tapers out a little bit more and gets wider towards the base or towards a quill. And I'm going to just cut it there. Like that. That's it. That's your feather drawn. As simple as that. Yeah. We've got these colours as well. I'm going to use a size 2 brush, by the way. And the colours I'm going to go for is yellow, first of all. Then we've got sienna, burnt sienna, or brown, whatever, like a reddy brown. We've got a bright red, which is a scarlet lake. We've got the alizarin crimson, which is a deeper red. And also phthalo blue, or intense blue, or Windsor blue, whatever you want to call it. If we start off with a yellow, load that brush up. A bit messy, I know. Look at the state of that. Give it a tap on some kitchen roll, and then make a start. Now, what we've got to think about with this is that you have to consider the shape of the feather. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to flick out a few lines towards the top at the moment, just to begin with, like that. I'm going to change the colours as I go along. Work on one side to begin with as well. Just flick them out like so. You can just fill it in with colour if you want to, but it looks a bit flat when you do that. Now remember, this is a fun project, so I'm not going to go too detailed with this. So a few more around there. That's one area already just about done anyway. We've got to put some more detail in there. Do the same on the other side. So as you can see, it sort of V's like that. A few more on that side. Let's change our colour. Let's go for the burnt sienna. Load it, give it a roll, like that. Give it a tap on some kitchen roll. Don't know why I'm singing. And then we'll start painting with that one. So it's too thick, so I'm going to water it down a little bit more. So the same on both sides now. But this time I'm going to get slightly wider. So I'm going to come out probably to about there. Get some more water in there, Paul. That should be better. So let's widen it. Let's make it a wider feather. And we can neaten out the outside edge as we go along. So all you're doing, start to go into that yellow a little bit as well. And just ease off then when you go in that yellow. So fewer lines, until you've got no lines at all in there. So that's one side. Oh, as quick as that. I'll do the same on the other side a minute. Now feathers are amazing when you really study a feather. Especially when you paint in detail, because you know I do detailed watercolours. Normally. This is just a fun project, isn't it? You can see all the different structures within a feather as well, the way that the barbs kind of cling together. So a bit like Velcro really, that's the way it sort of works. So if you gently pull the feather apart and then smooth it back together again, you'll find they will cling back together just like Velcro. And it's quite clever really how it all works. I wonder if that's where they got the idea of Velcro from. From all these different individual barbs and barblets, which you find inside the structure of a feather. Okay, clean damp brush. Or cleanish damp brush. Then we'll go into our red. Our scarlet lake. Look at that for a colour. Ooh, that's a lovely colour, isn't it? And we're going to use that one to carry on down. We're going to widen this a little bit more. Probably come to about maybe there. Then gradually bring it back in again. Down to about, I don't know, there maybe. So I'm going to probably stop about there where my little dot is. And also on the other side. We'll stop about there. So at least then you've got the quill showing at the bottom, haven't you? We'll have a few extra bits and bobs sticking out the sides. Alright, so we're going to go with red. Then we're going to go for the deeper red, the alizarin crimson. And then finally, the blue, which is that intense blue or phthalo blue, or Windsor blue, as I mentioned earlier. So all you're basically doing is just changing the colours as you go along. Thinking about that V shape all the time. If you're not sure, just put a few in to begin with, so you've got some reference marks there to work to. Just to make sure you stay on track for those angles. Now when you get right down to the bottom, pull out a few of these little finer ones, which are all wiggly and jiggly, like that, just towards the base. The same on the other side. Put a little bit of a shake in them as well. And keep them nice and fine if you can. So barely touching the paper with a hardly loaded brush at all. And that's the first layer done already. What I want to do is very lightly soften this down now using the same brush. Clean, damp brush. So again, rinse that brush out. Give it a wipe or two, just very gently like that on some kitchen roll. Then start from the top and just blend it slightly. Don't blend it all together. Just gently blend it, so it just knocks it back a little bit. And whilst you're doing this, you can also tidy up the central area as well. And you can see that's just a gentle blend. Just towards the central area like that. You can use a little bit of blue if you need to. The same on this side. Just redraw it slightly. Like that there. And carry on softening it down. Once you've got that softened down, you want to give it a quick dry with a hairdryer. And then we can add further details over the top. But not too many. We don't want to darken it too much, do we? Not really. Okay, that's just about dry. I'm going to make up a darker colour. I'm going to go for a mixture of blue. Bit of water in there, good. Bit of blue. Rinse that brush out. Get some red. Look at that. That's a nice dark brown colour, isn't it? Sort of a purpley brown. And also, just a small amount of yellow. Now these three colours will give you a dark colour normally. There you go. It's quite small. If you use equal amounts of each colour, they'll make it very dark. A bit like a black. I mean, that's a good way of making a nice black colour. Let's grab some of that red instead. Oh, that rhymed. And that is a very dark blue. Nearly black, as you can see. Just by mixing the three primary colours. Red, yellow and blue. Very lightly load that brush up. Don't overload it. The consistency, by the way, of all these paints today have been more to a milky consistency. This is where you can define the central area a little bit more. Just by very lightly, and I mean very lightly, going over the paper like this. Paint around those lines, just towards the quill at the end, barely touching the paper as you can see. And just define the central area now. I'm going to figure the paint down this side, so I've got a darker side. Don't go to the dark side. And the same within the vein. Clean damp brush. I'm going to soften this down now. So what I want to do, put a small amount of water down the middle section. And probably a little bit of our burnt sienna in there. Then give them a tiny tickle. And using tiny circles, tickle them together from one side. That will then give you a darker edge to that feather. Now all this is dry, you can add some more detail over the top if you want to. So what I can do, grab some of this dark colour now, our black, which we've made up from three colours. I'll add some into the burnt sienna first of all. So it's quite a dark burnt sienna now. Just see it in the corner there, only just. Now you can use that one to add some extra details now within the vein. Just very fine details, probably needs to add a bit more water in there to be honest. Then following the same line again, pull out a few little details here and there. You don't need much of this. Just going to add a variation to that colour, isn't it? And do the same with the other colours. So tiny amounts of our black colour within them. That's all you need. Add that in there. And then you can start to add the extra details within the feather. Remember, I'm not trying to paint something really detailed today. Just something with a little bit of detail in it. That's all we need. The good thing about anything like this is a fun project. As I mentioned, it's not supposed to be realistic or anything like that. We've done things like that before here on YouTube. But today we're talking about just having lots of fun. Something quick to paint. Something that you could potentially use for the front of a greetings card. So not a bad idea. But you have to find the colour combination that you like to use as well. So try a variety of colours out when you're doing something like this. Grab a scrap piece of watercolour paper, something that you've discarded. Use the back of a failed painting, for example. And give something like this a go. It's just good fun, you know. It really is. Just to make it up as you go along. That's all I'm doing here. I've added a little bit of blue towards the top of the feather as well, which then obviously turns green. And that's ideal for some extra details. That is just one very quick, fun feather. It really is. It's quite enjoyable to do. You can play with the colours as you go along and do whatever you want to do with it. Let me know in the comments down below what colours you will choose to paint something like this. Now remember, there's many other ways you can do something like this, and you can see that from the designs I've got here, just by playing with the colours within your mixing palette. I've got quite a variety with my half pans here. I'm sure you have something like that too. So have a look, see what you've got, play with those colours, and see what you can produce with a fun feather like these. This is just a very basic one, as you can see, just by using a larger brush. But if you use a finer detail brush, something like a size 00 like this one here, then you can start to create something a little bit finer like these. Just by using the same techniques I've shown you there, that's all I've done. Except these colours are much more intense on there, aren't they? Well, just make it stand out on the camera. So play with those paints and use some very, very bright colours if you want to. I certainly have. Now how about another easy beginner's watercolour project to work with? Have a look to the link to the top right hand corner of the screen. I'll see you there.